Hi there, welcome back for our cheese making episode. Today I am going to teach you how to make your own buttermilk homemade cream cheese. I promise it is the best cream cheese you will ever have, and for the cost of 2 liters of milk, 4 liters of milk, 2 technically, you get twice as much as you do buying a brick of cream cheese in the store, and you can control what flavor it is. So first we start off by taking a 2 liter of milk. Anything except for ultra high pasteurized milk. So 2% will work, 1% will work, although not very well. You want at least a 2%. If you can get whole milk, 3.25, that's been pasteurized rather than homogenized, go for it. But I find for cream cheese, homogenized works just fine. Following the 1 liter of 3% milk, you want to add about equal parts, so about a liter of buttermilk.
Buttermilk?
Yes, I'm also using 3.25% buttermilk. Please make sure you get
I love buttermilk.
already cultured buttermilk. Yes, we all love buttermilk. Because it's already cultured buttermilk, you don't have to worry too much about adding additional culture at this point. We are going to stir this and incorporate it very slowly, and on medium heat we are going to bring it up to a temperature of about 86 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to do this slowly over the course of about half an hour or so the milk coagulates properly. I decided to first learn how to make cheese when my mom decided to learn how to make wine. And I thought that was really cool. And everybody had been learning recently how to make homemade wine and beer and was calling it a lost art. And it occurred to me that if everybody was making it, it wasn't very much of a lost art. So I thought to myself, what is something I absolutely love to eat? And I have no idea how it's made, but could likely make at home. And the answer that came to my head immediately was probably my favorite food in the whole world, cheese. So I looked up how to make cheese, and here we are. Now I'm going to show you. It is extremely easy.
Can you taste it?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Delicious, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so we're just first going to let this slowly get up to the 86 degrees Fahrenheit using our handy dandy instant read thermometer. Right now, we're still pretty cold. I like to leave the milk out and let it come to room temperature first. It just makes it easier, but either way it works. When we are done with that, we are going to add some sort of coagulating ingredient to form this into a curd. Most times, a lot of cheesemakers will use rennet, and I do happen to have some on hand. However, I figured this was a channel about making things at home with what you have on hand, and most people don't have rennet on hand. They do, however, have lemon juice. Any other kind of acid will work as well, though. Citric acid, white wine vinegar, white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, lime juice, orange juice if you have to, although it's a little sweet and it won't set as well. Any type of hard acid or vinegar will work to coagulate as well. So for today we are going to use lemon juice. Alright, we are just about at our 86 degrees here. Ideally, the best pot to use for this kind of thing is actually an enamel-coated cast iron Dutch oven, as the lid helps seal the heat in while the curd is forming so that it doesn't lose heat and forms a tighter curd. However, any type of non-reactive pot with a lid will work as well. Alright, so we are just going to turn the heat off now that we are at the proper temperature. You'll want to use a spoon like this to any slotted spoon will work, but I find these kind work best, or a spider of some sort, especially when it comes to stirring the curd. Now it is time to add our coagulating ingredient. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now you're going to want to stir this in quickly in about 30 seconds in an up and down fashion. Make sure you don't overstir because the curd will start setting almost immediately within about 30 seconds or so, and you don't want to wreck it. So now that we have thoroughly incorporated our lemon juice, we're just going to let that sit off the heat with the lid on, and we're going to come back and check on it in about 45 minutes or so. Okay guys, my cheese wasn't forming a curd. When you make it with lemon juice, sometimes that can be a problem. It takes a very, very long time to form a curd. It's not that it won't, it just takes a while. Sometimes it can actually take up to 24 hours. Usually it doesn't. So what I've done, and my favorite thing to do when that happens, is to transfer your milk solution into an Instapot and set it to the keep warm setting for about an hour or so. As you can see here, I'm starting to get a curd, but it's not a full one yet. We will check back in, well, about an hour to 2 hours. We'll see. Okay, so we have let this sit in our Instapot on the keep warm setting for about 2.5 hours now. As you can see, it has formed quite a nice curd. It's pulling away from the edges of the pot. That is exactly what we want. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take a long knife and we are going to slice this into about 1-inch cubes in straight slices all the way down, 1 inch across. And then we're going to repeat going horizontally. So in a checkerboard style to make cubes. The end result should look something like that. So now we are going to take our pot with our cheese curds in it and a slotted spoon and a butter muslin bag or cheesecloth. Make sure you double layer it and leave enough around the edges to gather it up and hang it, because we have to hang it to drain. And then, or barring that, use an old pillowcase. Just turn it inside out and make sure the seams are on the outside, or a tea towel works as well. Just make sure it's not a terry cloth one and is in fact a cotton knit one. Otherwise you'll get little fibers in your cheese and nobody likes that. Anyhow, using a slotted spoon, we are going to very slowly just scoop up our cheese curds into our draining apparatus. Trying not to break up your curds too much. We want to keep them as intact as possible, so be very gentle with this. Silly me, I grabbed a different slotted spoon when my big round one I was working with earlier is in the sink and would have worked much better for this, but this works fine. What you have left in your pot now is whey. Now, you can add a little bit of milk to this and some more lemon juice and you'll get essentially ricotta, but this is already pretty acidic from how long it's sat. It won't be very good for that. It will, however, be excellent in making buns or bread in place of your milk or water in the recipe. You could always use leftover whey from cheese making. It's full of a lot of protein, So it's really good for all-purpose flour. If you don't have bread flour, it'll help increase the protein content and make it more similar to bread flour. It also adds just a little bit of a tangy flavor to it. I don't know how to explain it, but it is delicious. I love bread made with whey. So we are just going to pull our sides together, tie it up, whatever you need to do. And we are going to hang this from my cupboard. I've got it hanging from, or I'm going to have it hanging here from a handle on one of my cupboards. And we're just going to leave it over the bowl overnight so that it drains thoroughly. And yes, I did say overnight. It's just hanging nicely from my cupboard door. We will check back with you in the morning. Alright, good morning guys. We are back. We have let our cheese hang overnight. We're just going to take it down now. And we're going to take our cheese. It should be nice and firm. There. And we're going to empty it into a bowl of some sort. Preferably one with a lid that you can pop in the fridge after. So much easier than transferring bowls, especially with this stuff. We want to kind of stir our cheese, as it were, up and add some salt to this. This is the point where you can flavor it with whatever flavor you sort of want. But salt is an absolute must. Even for just plain cream cheese, it needs to be salted. You're going to need a lot more salt than you think you will because of the high fat content in cheese. Especially buttermilk cheese like this. Now, I know it looks strange because it's all crumbly. That's normal. We are going to add just a splash, about a tablespoon of milk. Taste that. Make sure the salt level is to your liking. That's good cheese. Okay. Next, though, I'm going to add, actually that needs a touch more, my other flavors. Next, I'm going to add my other flavors to this. Now, you don't have to. You can leave it plain. It's delicious cream cheese as it is. I, however, am going to make homemade herb and garlic cream cheese. So I'm going to start and add some chopped up parsley and rosemary, as well as some thyme and minced garlic. Oh yes. And my dried minced onion. Just about a teaspoon of that. Then I'm going to take these and mix them all up, get them nice and incorporated into my cheese. It won't always look this crumbly, but it's fine if it does. This is also something you might want to put in a press and press it. That's how harder cheeses are made, but it is perfect as a soft cheese like this. You can grab just a hint of milk or cream, heavy cream. Toss it in here, not too much, about a tablespoon. As much as you need for that matter, to make it a sort of spreadable consistency. Just gonna add a little bit more here. Now, it's never going to be quite as smooth as your store-bought cream cheese. It's always going to have a little bit of more texture to it than that stuff does, but it is phenomenal, and I truly recommend it to anyone who is at all a lover or fan of cream cheese. I get twice the amount or 3 times the amount for that matter, for just about the same price as 1 block of cream cheese. And then stick it in the fridge to allow the flavors to develop. It'll be good in the fridge for about 1 to 2 weeks. As always, don't forget to taste and adjust your seasoning. And that is how we make perfect herb and garlic homemade cream cheese. Nothing tastes better. Especially on homemade bagels. If you'd like to find out how to make homemade bagels, check out my video on homemade New York style bagels. Later on, I'm going to be showing you how to make buns with our leftover whey. Some of the best buns you will ever eat. Hope you guys enjoy your cream cheese. Have a great day.